The farm's located at Millbrook, which is about 15k east of Ballarat, just off the Western Highway. It's an old family farm that's been in my family for 3 generations. We've just converted a small part of it, 70 acres, to horse usage. We've been amateur horse trainers and breeders for 10 years, and we needed something better to make certain the horses didn't have accidents, and we're currently using this as an inducement property. Safety was the main issue. I wouldn't have been prepared to put a horse into the traditional cattle fences, barbed wire ring lock or barbed wire and plain, so we pulled everything out, re-fenced, and the paddocks were 20 acres at that stage. We fenced them into 5-acre paddocks. I'd seen this wire used by Andre Acthouse at his stable complex in Ballarat. I was impressed by it. To us, it provided great value for money and an economic viewpoint. It was easy to use. We're not professional fencers. It was quick and easy to put up. We've already demonstrated, as a matter of fact, yesterday how safe the fences are when we had a yearling foal that we bought at the weanling sales in winter. She hit the fence yesterday. It let go at the release points we've built into the system. The horse actually ended up in the laneway but didn't have a scratch on her, and I just wouldn't have believed it. The wire actually rolls on the wire inside the plastic. It rotates, and I think that's the thing that protects the horses. There's virtually nothing that'll cut like a traditional wire. If we had an accident like that with a traditional horse fence or a cattle fence, the horse would be dead, or you'd have vet bills that you couldn't pay in a million years. We've actually had the vets out doing insurance examinations on fences, and they were very impressed with it. We looked at several systems. There's obviously other systems that are miles more expensive, but I didn't think on large scale paddocks like this, with the 70 acres now fenced into this 5-acre system, the options were just something that you couldn't afford. The idea of going with the 4-wire, it's a foot higher than traditional cattle fences. The main reason that was to discourage a horse trying to jump it. The 4th wire, the bottom wire, is probably not necessary, and you could reduce your costs a little bit there, but we have a policy of rotating cattle around the horse paddocks at least once a year to clean out the paddocks and freshen up the pasture. Our farming operation there, we have cows and calves, so we needed the lower wire to keep the calves in, and we also breed our own mares. We have 3 or 4 foals, and foals will lay down next to a fence, and I was worried that if we didn't have the 4th lower wire, if they laid down, they'd tend to roll and get under the fence, so it's there to stop that happening. They get educated to it very, very quickly. So I had a funny experience with one of our own 2-year-olds. The first time we put her in a paddock, we switched it on. She come up and touched the top wire with her nose, jumped back about a foot, done a lap of the paddock, come back, touched it again, done another lap, and she touched it 4 times with her nose before she woke up what was happening, but every other horse that we've seen they touch it once and they don't go near it. I have the remote in the ute. I've never had to use it because we've designed it with a switch in the corner of every paddock, so if I'm doing anything, I just switch it off wherever I'm working. When we were looking around with fences, I was on the internet a lot, doing a lot of research, and by sheer coincidence, about the same time, Dave Manning from Gallagher was at a property where we actually train our horses from, owned by a friend. He'd come out there one night with a colleague from Gallagher, and I'd said to him what we're looking at, and he gave me a lot of advice, gave me some right contacts. Manning actually come out 2 or 3 times during the project. The only thing probably, I wish I had have had his advice and got him out here earlier on in the project, because he did give me a lot of hints when he turned up.